What's going on, guys? Welcome to this very special edition of the Main Event Talk. The second anniversary show, part 3, has arrived. And I would like to apologize to everybody for not putting part 3 together in 2013. And why? Because we're here in 2014 now. So before the main event begins, I'd like to say Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to all. I hope you guys had a great holiday and hope you guys got home safe and sound. We're here in 2014 right now, and as I always say, make 2014 your year. Here I am I'm not even at my house. I'm not even anywhere near my Mustang right now. I'm somewhere out here in Corpus Christi, Texas, the main event's home city. Now check this out, guys. Look right over here. Right here at the American Bank Center. This is the same place where Korn has played live, and also, as you know, WWE Raw has taken place over here. Also, recently, December 19th, WWE SmackDown took place over here as well, doing their last and final holiday edition of SmackDown. It was a tremendous show. A lot of people had a good time seeing superstars like The Shield, the Wyatt family, CM Punk, John Cena, and so forth. Also, take a look at over here where I'm at right here in Corpus Christi. I've never seen this before. Apparently, this was probably designed sometime within, a year or two ago. It's tremendous. A lot of people would like to walk all around this stuff and everything. I just saw a guy drive by in a bicycle wearing an orange hat, and it is the silliest thing I have ever seen in my life. How awesome is that, huh? This is what you see right here in Corpus Christi, Texas, and the biggest view of them all right here. Of every view here in Corpus Christi, from the American Bank Center to here, is this baby right over there. The USS Lexington right there. Check out all the jet planes right there on top. I have never actually been in the USS Lexington, but it'd be great to check out and everything. And also, there's another thing. If you look over here closely where all these vehicles and trucks are at, right by the ocean. As a matter of fact, if you look very, very closely, you see the guy in the orange hat. That's the guy that came out in the bicycle and everything. Believe it or not, anyone that's been a big wrestling fan for a long time knows that that's the place right there where Chavo Guerrero was thrown in to the Gulf of Mexico on an episode of WWE SmackDown. Same thing applies to Rey Mysterio Jr. He was thrown at the hands of Kane about a couple of years ago. And then about a few months, I think recently, everybody remembers the incident with Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow, right? Remember when he had that little Money in the Bank briefcase in his hands and Cody Rhodes stole it from him and practically just threw it out at the Gulf of Mexico and then threw Damien Sandow, or he jumped in to go get it and stuff. So it was crazy. So that's why he had the Halliburton briefcase and it came out into wood and all that other stuff. But nonetheless, welcome to this part 3 edition of the second anniversary show. I am the main event player, the Super C. And I tell you something, I love my city of Corpus Christi, Texas. If you come with me, I've been in this city for well over 35 years, or 36 to be exact. This is an awesome place to be at. It's a great place when it comes to metal. It's a great place when it comes to wrestling. I've been over many places like Concrete Street Amphitheater. I've been over at a place called Theo's Billiards. I've been over a place called Jameson's and all that other stuff. Great place to be at, great place to eat. Dig it all the time. But what is so important about this episode of the Main Event Talk? Let me tell you exactly how important it is. It's the fact that we're here, we're reflecting upon 2013, everything that has happened from the metal music to professional wrestling and to how my life is going. And let's talk about the WWE. You guys know about what's going on with them. You guys know that in 2014, the Royal Rumble's coming on January 22nd, and the rematch between John Cena and Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship will be decided. Whoever wins will become clearly the champion of champions. That's what's going to happen. And also, you guys have heard the announcement. You guys know about the story. Brock Lesnar returns to the WWE, and he has an opportunity to face off against the winner of John Cena versus Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And that's something I can't wait for in 2014, which I'll bring up in the near future. But talking about 2013 was an amazing year. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, John Cena would win the 2013 Royal Rumble, move on to WrestleMania. And then who would his opponent be? The winner of CM Punk versus The Rock. The Rock would get his opportunity and win the championship against CM Punk. And then, of course, you know the story. Rock versus Cena at WrestleMania 29. And it ends with Cena winning the title. And, of course, The Rock moves on to do his whole Hollywood thing with, you know, Fast and Furious 6 already coming out. And a few other movies that The Rock has done. So that was interesting as well. How about Dolph Ziggler? How about him winning the World Heavyweight Championship after WrestleMania by taking out Alberto Del Rio? Even though his championship reign didn't last so long, it was a reign nonetheless. He finally became champion. He cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase. That was over and done with. And how about Alberto Del Rio? He wins the World Heavyweight Championship, defends the title against the Big Show at the Royal Rumble. What a great year Alberto Del Rio has had. And what about the Beast Brock Lesnar, making his long-awaited return, coming in to face off against Triple H, not once, but twice. The first time at WrestleMania 29, and the second at Extreme Rules. And then, speaking of Brock Lesnar, what about SummerSlam? What about the Best versus the Beast? What about CM Punk against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? To me, I don't give a damn what anyone says, even though the WWE clearly made The Rock versus John Cena match of the year. We all know what really was match of the year. CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, WWE SummerSlam, one of the greatest matches of all time. Speaking of SummerSlam, what else took place at that same event? Let's see. There's this guy with a little bit of long hair, got this beard, and keeps on chanting, "Yes!" every single time. The hottest superstar in all of WWE, Daniel Bryan, achieves his goal by becoming the WWE champion for the first time in his career. And believe it or not, that same time, Randy Orton comes in, cashes in his Money in the Bank, and this whole saga with Daniel Bryan winning the championship, not once, not, I believe twice, but 3 times, if I'm mistaken. But no matter what, Daniel Bryan, regardless if he's the WWE champion or not, he is still the hottest thing going in all of WWE. And recently, you guys saw what happened with Daniel Bryan and the whole thing with Daniel Bryan and the Wyatt family. What about that? The fact that Daniel Bryan comes right in, right? He had his matchup against each member of the Wyatt family until he finally got his hands on Bray Wyatt. And then the whole thing, Daniel Bryan is laid down, Daniel Bryan is finished. And then he goes ahead and decides he's going to join the family. And he does. It was a shocking ending to 2013 with Daniel Bryan. But it was a good ending. Everybody can say, oh man, it sucked, man. Daniel Bryan's going to turn heel and all this stuff. But to me, I think it's a good thing that he joined the family. Why? Number one, it's quote unquote good for business. And number two, the only way to kill an enemy is from within. It wouldn't surprise me if Daniel Bryan finds a way to kill the enemy within at the Wyatt family. And it wouldn't surprise me if Daniel Bryan were to win this year's Royal Rumble, but that's not my prediction. I'll let you know what that prediction is later on. So the WWE had a good year with Daniel Bryan, with John Cena, Randy Orton, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, The Shield, the Wyatt family. All is good with the WWE, and it's going to continue up until 2014. And plus, the one thing that I and the rest of the wrestling world is waiting on is the WWE Network. We've been waiting almost, what, a year or two since everyone's been talking about the WWE having their WWE Network being displayed on television. The deals, the stuff, everything. Well, I'm not going to get my hopes up. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, oh well. But nonetheless, as always, the WWE will always have a successful year, and it will continue on from here in 2014. Can't wait for the Royal Rumble, and I cannot wait for WrestleMania 30 over in Louisiana, New Orleans, the Superdome, which I hope the lights stay on at the at the Dome, because you know about what happened at the Super Bowl last year. All of a sudden the lights go out, the football game was practically canceled for like a few hours, and then before you know it, and I know my friend Frank is going to get a little upset when I tell him that his 49ers lost to the Ravens, which personally to me, they deserve to win, but you know what I mean. But anyways, I hope that stuff doesn't happen at WrestleMania 30 coming up on April 7th of this year. Can't wait. Let's talk about TNA Wrestling. You guys know about the story with them. Everything from, let's see from what I understand this correctly, there's going to be a champion versus champion match coming up this coming Thursday on Impact Wrestling. AJ Styles, who we all know is the current, well, he's not the current champion, but he holds on to the title. And from what I also understand, he no longer has a contract with TNA Wrestling. But he has one opportunity to defend the championship against the new champion in Magnus. And the main event cannot wait to check that out. That's an accident waiting to happen right there, huh? But anyways, Magnus, as you know, he won the championship against Jeff Hardy at the finals. He becomes the only British World Heavyweight Champion. In the history for years, the World Heavyweight Championship has always been defended, whether it's WWE, TNA, WCW, ECW, it's always been defended by either a white guy, and please don't think this is racist, black man, Samoan, Latino, and everything. But an Englishman has never been champion until last year, 2013. Magnus, does he deserve to be champion? To me, yes, he does. Does he deserve to hold on to the championship for a little while longer? Possible. He's kind of like Curtis Axel, but with more talent and can actually speak. No disrespect to Mr. Perfect Son, but to me, Curtis Axel, he was good as Intercontinental Champion, but I think we all agree that the title wasn't going to last so long anyway. So, Magnus has an opportunity to defend the championship against AJ Styles, and then after that, possibility of AJ dropping the championship and him going on to Ring of Honor, because as you know, he's going to be appearing in many Ring of Honor shows, so he's going to be under contract with them. But a lot of people can agree that AJ, he's still the hottest thing going in TNA Wrestling as far as I'm concerned. I mean, don't get me wrong, TNA is great when it comes to not just AJ Styles, but Magnus, Kurt Angle, Robert Roode, the Cowboy, James Storm, Sting, and let's see, I'm also going to go with Bad Influence, Bad Tag Team. Austin Aries, the greatest man to ever live, Austin Aries. Chris Sabin, and a few others of that nature. But don't expect me to give praises to people like EC3. EC3, the world needs a Carter? Really? No, no, no. The world needs a beer. The world needs a shot of Jaeger. The world needs to have fun. The world needs to see professional wrestling go to a higher level and not this sports entertainment garbage that we're looking at, okay? And that includes people like EC3 and Rockstar Spud. Rockstar Spud. You see how small that guy looks? He looks like Charles Robinson with a bad hair. I swear. You know that referee, Charles Robinson, the one that used to work for WCW and the WWE? Oh my God. With an English accent, if you will. Oh my God. But nonetheless, where this goes, where TNA Wrestling is going, I'm not sure. But I know that Jeff Hardy's no longer with the company. Chavo Guerrero, as you know, is no longer with the company. There's a possibility of Jeff Hardy appearing at the Royal Rumble this year, so that could possibly happen as well. But we'll see what happens with TNA Wrestling. It's just, I still like the company. I still think it'll do good, but you know the mistakes they're going to make. You know the dumb acts they're going to do. All I can say is, whatever TNA does is fine, but they need that huge it factor. And their biggest it factor of them all was AJ Styles. And they no longer have him in TNA. So, we'll see what happens. And then Ring of Honor, that's all that's left. We know the story. If I know correctly, Ring of Honor's world champion, I believe, is Adam Cole. He recently defended the championship in Final Battle against, let's see, Jay Briscoe and Unbreakable Michael Elgin. I didn't get a chance to see the match, but I also heard that Chris Hero made a return as well. And it's going to be great to see, you know, all those stars at Ring of Honor. We'll see where we see with Ring of Honor how far that company is going to go, and especially with the return of AJ Styles, because as you know, AJ